Episode 160. Bullets rained down around Lord Grim's feet, kicking up clods of dirt, yet not a single one could find its mark. Li Ji and Liu Fei's coordination was brilliant, but Ye Xiu was no stranger to the trick of dual suppression fire. Li Ji predicted his movement, but he in turn predicted Li Ji's judgment. Li Ji and Liu Fei were helpless, these sub-level 30 professions. It really limited their performance. With a few more skills, they could at least control a much larger area. But now, basic attacks have become their primary method of offense. Who relies on basic attacks in a PK? It's all about how you use your skills. But that pile of low-level skills below level 30 offered little help for Li Ji and Liu Fei's coordination. Still, their combined assault managed to pin down Lord Grim. Meanwhile, Wang Jiexi and Zhao Yingji's two witchcraft scholars continued their low-altitude flight. They sped forward. The glazed lands were not a wide, open plain. Ye Xiu had been guiding Lord Grim on a weaving path of evasion, his ultimate destination already locked in. Lord Grim dashed a few steps, then leaped, clearing a low wall. He dropped into a crouch, forcing the two gunners to waste their shots on the dirt wall.
李一辉眼助韦伯 take the left. Xiao Ying and Xiao Yifan the right. Gunners keep up the frontal suppression.
The team members acknowledged the order and moved into position.
Li Jie and Liu Fei, the two sharpshooters, kept advancing while maintaining their fire. They pinned Lord Grim down behind the wall, forcing him to keep his head low. Li Yihui's grappler and Zhou Yebo's ghostblade charged up the left flank together.
Xiao Ying's battle mage, Cloud Soar, and Qiao Yifan's assassin, Moonlight, took the right path. The central route was held by two witchcraft scholars. Of the three paths, the two witches on the central route, taking the shortest distance, were naturally the fastest. The left and right flanks were there to prevent Lord Grim from hiding behind the wall and slipping away to either side. Wang Jiexi's plan was meticulous, but when he and Zhao Yingji's witch flew over the earthen wall first, he swept his gaze left and right, but found no trace of Lord Grim. Wang Jiexi's gaze swept the area, finally landing on a dilapidated earthen hut not far from the wall. The left and right squads vaulted the earthen wall one after the other. Finding Lord Grim nowhere in sight, they each paused in momentary confusion. This time Wang Jiexi didn't shout. Instead, he switched to the team channel, issuing individual instructions. Immediately, the left and right squads continued their advance, each circling around to opposite sides of the earthen hut. Then someone stepped over, glanced behind the house, and reported in the team channel. No other Wang Jiexi gave a nod. Behind him, his vice, Captain Deng Fuxing's knight, and the two sharpshooters were also in position. Wang Jiexi had already laid out the plan. All 9 players took their positions and launched a coordinated assault. 2 sharpshooters each took aim and began firing continuously into the room. Deng Fuxing's knight provided shield cover, with several melee characters following close behind. 2 witch masters, however, flew on their brooms overhead. They were going to charge into the earthen hut at full speed, cramming themselves inside. They were giving Lord Grim no chance to block the door. In a flash, they reached the door. Deng Fuxing's knight crouched and rolled inward, clearing space for 2 witchcraft scholars to fly inside, by side. Without even looking, they each flung a handful of dispersal powder to either side. The others behind them squeezed into the earthen hut right on their heels. But the result was that Lord Grim was nowhere to be seen inside the room. Everyone. Outside, the 2 sharpshooters remained unaware of what had just transpired. Their job was to provide cover. For now, they kept their guns trained on the earthen hut's entrance. When Lord Grim charged out again, their mission would instantly shift back to interception. Ha! Where'd he go? Someone finally voiced the question, puzzled. Wang Jiexi was also stunned for a good while. Once the character emerged from the earthen hut, he carefully surveyed the glazed land to his left and right. There were indeed many such dilapidated mud huts, but in that brief moment, Lord Grim could only have moved this far. If he moved toward the other rooms, he'd definitely be spotted.
What's wrong?
Only then did the sharpshooter outside the room realize something was wrong. He's gone.
That's odd. Did you see that?
Inside the tiny herb training room, they even started talking out loud. They felt their own character's viewpoint was too limited, so they all started crowding around each other's screens to look for clues.
The one on the right. Gunners hold the rear.
Wang Jiaxi suddenly gave the order. The team was taken aback. The two sharpshooters instantly swiveled their perspectives. Sure enough, there was another earthen hut on the right. Without another word, the two opened fire.
Yifan, check the rear! Everyone else with me!
Wang Jiexi gave the order. Qiao Yifan's character, Moonlight, ran to check if the earthen hut had an exit. The others maintained the exact same formation as before, charging straight for this earthen hut. Almost forgot, that guy can use Shadow Clone Zhaoqiu. If used as a blink, that distance is within reach. Wang Jiexi had realized this. After re-evaluating the distance of Lord Grimm's movement, he discovered that this earthen hut was also a place Lord Grimm could have ducked into for cover. Gunfire, suppression, a knight's shield. Cover fire, roll in, the witch flies in with them, throw down the dispersal powder. No other exit back here. Qiao Yifan reported. Everyone charged into the building together. Everything went smoothly. The operation was a near-perfect copy of the previous ambush, but the outcome was exactly the same. Zhang Moxiao was nowhere to be seen in the room. Wang Jiexi leapt from the room and assessed the situation once more. Nothing. There's no other choice but this room for Lord Grimm. Even using Shadow Clone technique wouldn't work. Could there be some low-level skill I've overlooked? Wang Jiexi's mind began scanning through the 120 skills below level 20 across all 24 classes. Wang Jiexi's blazing flame extinguisher emerged from the room and continued to survey the surrounding terrain. He knew he must have missed something. A character can just vanish into thin air. Low-level skills under level 20 don't include any stealth or vanish abilities. 2 of the earthen huts had been cleared. Zhang Moxiao wasn't in them. Wang Jiexi then looked at the third closest hut, but still shook his head. Impossible. For this one, there's not enough time. Lord Grimm's crouch. Walk is too slow. Even rolling the whole way wouldn't make it in time. To hide in that house before the others could see him, unless you could fly low like a witch. But this unspecialized character couldn't possibly know how to do that. Low-altitude flight. Low-altitude flight. Wang Jiexi snapped back to reality. Lord Grimm couldn't possibly skim the ground like a witch, but similar aerial maneuvers weren't exclusive to witchcraft scholars. Gunners can also fly using their signature flying gun technique, but the aerial gunplay technique, used at such a low altitude, its flight distance would inevitably be very short, but at least it guaranteed his movement speed. Flying gun is just an operating technique. It has no cooldown, so you can use it as many times as you like. As long as each transition is smooth, it's not a difficult task for a pro player. The one at 11 o'clock. Wang Jiexi didn't have time to think it through. Having made this judgment, he knew the only way to find out was to try. Yifan, fall back, the rest of you, with me. The same order came again. While the other players hadn't yet grasped the situation, they followed their captain's instructions without question. Thus, their tactics were replicated once more, and the process was repeated again. But the result was not. Was replicated once again. Wang Jiexi's judgment missed the mark 3 times in a row. This was a situation Team Tiny Herb's players had never encountered before, and they were all utterly stunned. Where on earth has Lord Grimm hidden himself? Wang Jiexi's witch had already circled back outside the earthen hut, looking left and right, racking his brains. He still couldn't figure out where Lord Grimm could possibly have gone.